So the nun, I mean, this fits in the timeline in the way that it goes all the way back to the start. I mean, who knows if it's going to
have an origin, so to speak, right?
Yeah, it's our origin story of everything that comes afterwards. So it involves some ancient times.
Those goddamn ancient times. Gary, can we just like pretend that Corin's not here for a second? Just like focus deeply in my eyes and talk about like why did you want to work with him as a director for The Nun?
You know, I mean,
yeah, just thank you.
Yeah, right.
Go look for the roach, Corin.
Sure, you really? Not Pete's Dragon or something? I'm going, yeah, I want this. You know, and they call, you know, New Line has been such a wonderful, I mean, they really have become like, it's really just kind of one big family. And, you know, they call it, you know, the house that Freddie built, and it's been so great just as a fan to see, you know, Pennywise and La Llorona and Bathsheba and the Nun, and of course, you know, Annabelle sort of move into that house, which would be a cool sort of reality show. So look, I'm very, very excited to be writing and now directing the next installment of Annabelle. I'm still finalizing the script, but it really picks up with the Warrens bringing Annabelle to the place where it can really no longer wreak havoc, which is their artifact room. And
But of course,
yeah, it turns out she can also wreak havoc there. And it's, you know, she really awakens the evil within that room, and they set their, you know, they set their sights, they target the Warrens' 10-year-old daughter, Judy. And yeah, so that's...
it activates.
That's the setup.
Judy's been through so much.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure it turns out okay for her.
Shooting this scene that you'll see when you see the movie involving a long corridor full of crucifixes. And it was in a real fortress in Romania called Mogoșoaia. Remember, you were there as well. And so to give you an idea, it was a 200-foot long corridor, and we had a big camera on a dolly and a crane all the way through it. Taissa was there, and we were doing rehearsals, and it was a real location, so there was not a lot of room, and it was these cells. This was a fortress used to store weapons, and it was pitch black, and in order to be able to sit and watch my monitors, I was based in one of these cells that was just off this long corridor. So in order to get into it, I walked down into this sort of like basement corridor, and I went into a pitch black room, and as I went into the room I saw two guys from the sound department sitting in these chairs in the dark, and I sort of said hello. And as I turned around I went to look at my monitors, which are here, and the door's just here and the corridor's all the way through there, and there's these two guys just sitting over there. And I stood, you know, for half an hour watching rehearsals, watching Taissa get ready. She's in like a harness, and well, you'll see when you see the film. But so it was quite complex because we're doing this camera move where the camera has to rotate and push down the corridor, and it was frustrating, like a lot of filmmaking is when you're trying to rehearse, get something right. And finally, we got the shot, and I was sitting on my own in this dark room. I was like, yeah, we got it, okay, perfect, brilliant. And I said, oh, did you see that? And I turned around to the two guys in this room with only one door in front of me. And there was just no one in the room, and there never had been anyone in the room. And this was a fortress that people had died in, and it was, you know, true. So I genuinely was like, I turned around to say, oh, that was great, wasn't it? And there was just there was no one in the room. I can't explain it, and it was part of making The Nun, and I think it was the spirits were checking in on making sure I did a good shot.